In this video, we'll look at the 3 consumables required to operate the Form 4 in more detail. Consumables are part of the print process that will need to be replaced throughout the life of your printer: the resin tank, the build platform, and the resin cartridge. Some consumables may have a long lifetime, and others might be exhausted more quickly. To begin, we have the build platform. All printer packages will come with the standard Form 4 build platform that measures 7.9 by 5 inches. The build platform has a machined aluminum surface which allows the printing process to adhere your parts to the build platform. The surface of the build platform will be smooth when it's unboxed. As you use the provided tools to remove your prints, scrapes and scuffs will accumulate on the surface. This is expected behavior and can help your parts adhere more strongly because of it. Over time, those scrapes and gouges may become too deep and cause prints to over-adhere to the build platform, making them very difficult to remove. This is the point at which you should replace your build platform. You can also consider the Build Platform Flex as an option for quick release of parts. Build Platform Flex is built with a gouge-free stainless steel print surface, ensuring robust, long-term durability. It's recommended that the build platform be fully wiped down on the surface and sides using a paper towel and isopropyl alcohol whenever you change resin types, or place your build platform in storage outside of the printer. For the Build Platform Flex, make sure to also clean underneath the flexible plate. The flexible plate is completely removable, making cleaning easy. Next, we have the resin cartridge. This will be your most often replaced consumable. As you print, you will replace the resin cartridge whenever it has completely emptied its contents. The printer will track the weight of the cartridge and warn you when it's getting low or has run out, so that you can purchase another for future prints. Let's look at the parts of the resin cartridge. Resin cartridges are detected by the printer with an RFID system, with the tag hidden under its label. The RFID detects the cartridge's presence and identifies the cartridge's contents, the resin type, and version number. On the top, the resin cartridge has a vent cap. This vent cap needs to be opened during printing to allow resin to flow, and should be closed when the resin cartridge is in storage to prevent leaks. The vent cap can be removed to manually pour out resin from the cartridge, such as directly into your resin tank or your chemical disposal stream. On the side of the cartridge is a label notating the resin type and version number. This label can be viewed through a window in the printer tower when the cartridge is properly inserted. On the bottom of the cartridge is the bite valve. This rubber valve has a slit in it to allow resin to dispense when pressed by an arm inside the printer tower. The bite valve should never be removed, and the slit should never be cut wider, as this could lead to an overflow of resin in the printer. Also on the bottom of the cartridge will be a sticker noting both the manufacturing date and expiration date of the resin. When the resin reaches its expiration date, we recommend replacing this cartridge with a new one to ensure print quality. Finally, we have the resin tank. The resin tank is the primary container for holding resin after it dispenses from the cartridge. Resin is cured onto the build platform when light passes through the tank's bottom film during printing. Similar to the resin cartridge, tanks are detected using RFID technology. The RFID can only be read by the printer when the tank is locked in place by the handles. The flexible tank film is part of Formlabs' LFD technology for low force release of parts. In order to maintain a clear path for light, the bottom of the resin tank should never be touched. Touching the bottom of the tank could leave fingerprints, smudges, or other debris that could interfere with the print process. Only grip the tank by the sides when moving from the printer to a storage space. Tanks can be stored with the resin inside. Secure the plastic cover on the top of the tank to block ambient light when your tank is in storage. This will ensure the resin in the tank remains liquid. Resin tanks on the Form 4 can last 75,000 layers or more with any Formlabs material. The exact lifetime of a given tank may vary depending on individual use and wear factors. Form 4 resin tanks should be inspected monthly. We recommend that you replace a Form 4 resin tank as soon as you notice either of the following factors: wear on the film that begins to affect the print quality or reliability, or any punctures, cuts, wrinkles, or gouges in the film. Repeatedly printing the same model in the same location on a tank can cause the tank film to wear more quickly, so it's important to vary the layout of parts. Form 4 printers have built-in tank usage monitoring. You can check how many layers, prints, and liters have been printed on a resin tank at any time. When a tank reaches 75,000 layers and is inserted into a printer, the printer will prompt you to inspect the tank and consider replacing it. For easy switching between materials, you should have a separate tank and, optionally, a mixer dedicated to each resin type that you use. Mixers can be moved from one tank to another when a resin tank is replaced. If you are reusing the same mixer for multiple resin types, fully clean the mixer with a solvent such as IPA or TPM and allow the mixer to fully dry before reinserting it into a new tank. Keeping enough consumables on hand will ensure you can always continue printing. Consider keeping 2 to 3 weeks worth of resin in storage and monitoring stock levels regularly.